Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Russian Sari.
11 ऑर्गेनिज्म एंड पॉपुलेशन इकोलॉजी काफ़ी बच्चों को बहुत हार्ड लगती है, काफ़ी बच्चों को बहुत इजी लगती है, बट मुझे ऐसा कुछ नहीं, मीडियम मीडियम लगती है। पढ़ लो बस, एक इतना कुछ इंटरेस्ट वाली चीज़ है। तो शुरू करते हैं। आर लिविंग वर्ल्ड इज फैसिनेटिंगली डाइवर्स एंड अमेजिंगली कॉम्प्लेक्स। वी कैन ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड इट्स कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बाय investigating processes at various levels of biological organization, macromolecule, cell, tissue, organ, individual organism, population, communities, ecosystem and biomes. At the level of biological organization, we can ask two type of question. For example, we can hear the bulbul singing early morning in the garden. We may ask, how does the bird sing or why does the bird sing? एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे उन्होंने जैसे ले लिया है कि बुलबुल जो है वो गा रही है। अब क्यों गा रही है और कैसे गा रही है, इस पे हम दो सवाल कर सकते हैं। इनका कहना ये है, the how type question seek the mechanism behind the process, while the why type question seek the significance of the process. सही बात है। For the first question in one example, the answer might be in term of the operation of the voice box and the vibrating bone in the bird. Whereas for the second question, the answer may lie in the bird's need to communicate with its mate during breeding season. When you observe nature around you with a scientific frame of mind, you will certainly come up with many interesting questions of both types. Why are night blooming flowers generally white? Why does the bee know which color has nectar? How does a bee know which color has nectar? Why does cactus have so many thorns? How does the chick spur recognize her own mother? And so on. इन सभी क्वेश्चंस के आंसर आपको इस चैप्टर में मिलेंगे, ये कहना चाहते हैं। You have already learned in previous classes that ecology is a subject which studies the interaction among organisms and between the organism and its physical abiotic environment. Ecology is basically concerned with four levels of biological organization: organism, population, communities and biome. In this chapter we explore ecology at population level. लास्ट ईयर एलिन की टेस्ट सीरीज में ये क्वेश्चन था, जिसमें ये पूछा गया था फोर लेवल ऑफ बायोलॉजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन। तो इसको थोड़ा ध्यान रखें, मे बी अब एलन में पूछा गया तो हो सकता है नीट में भी पूछा जा सके। पॉपुलेशन एट्रीब्यूट्स। In nature, we rarely find isolated single individuals of any species. Majority of them live in groups in a well-defined geographical area, share or compete for similar resources, potentially interbreed, and thus constitute a population. Although the term interbreeding implies sexual reproduction, a group of individuals resulting from even asexual reproduction is also generally considered a population for the purpose of ecological studies. All the cormorant in a wetland, rat in an abundant dwelling, teak wood trees in a forest tract, bacteria in a culture plate, and lotus plant in a pond are some example of a population. In earlier chapter, you have learned that although an individual organism is the one that has to cope with the change environment, it is at the population level that natural selection operates to evolve the desired trait. Population ecology is therefore an important area because it links ecology to population genetics and evolution. Genetics और evolution में लिंक करता है, इसलिए इकोलॉजी जो है आपका पढ़ना ज़रूरी है। बेसिक चीज़ें इसमें से मैंने तो कभी कोई क्वेश्चन नोटिस किया नहीं है, किसी ने किया हो तो वो ध्यान दे ले इस पर। A population has certain attribute whereas an individual organism does not. An individual may have birth and deaths, but a population has birth rate and death rate. In a population, these rates refer to a per capita birth and deaths. The rates hence express are change in number increase or decrease with respect to member of the population. Here is an example. If in a pond there were 20 lotus plants last year and through reproduction 8 new plants are added, Taking the current population to 28, we calculate the birth rate as 8 by 20 is equals to 0.4 offspring per lotus per year. If 4 individuals in a laboratory population of 40 fruit flies die during a specified time interval, say a week, the death rate in the population during that period is 4 by 40, 0.1 individual per fruit fly per week. इस पैरा से क्वेश्चन आया है, 2 बार एटलीस्ट आई रिमेम्बर आया है. बाकी पीवाईक्यू मतलब पीवाईक्यू है तो इस पे क्वेश्चन बन सकता है, तो कीप दिस पैरा इन माइंड. Another attribute characteristic of a population is sex ratio. An individual is either a male or a female, but a population has a sex ratio. Example, 60% of the population are females and 40% are males. A population in any given time is composed of individuals of different ages. If the age distribution percent individual of a given age or a age group is plotted for the population, the resulting structure is called an age pyramid. अभी देखेंगे हम आगे फिगर. फॉर human population, the age pyramid generally show age distribution of male and female in a diagram. The shape of the pyramid reflects the growth status of the population, whether it is growing, stable or declining. This is expanding, stable and declining. Expanding and growing is same, यानी प्री रिप्रोडक्टिव सबसे ज्यादा, रिप्रोडक्टिव उससे थोड़े कम, और पोस्ट रिप्रोडक्टिव यानी ओल्ड एज वाले और भी कम. स्टेबल में ये दोनों बराबर हो जाते हैं और डिक्लाइनिंग में प्री रिप्रोडक्टिव कम हो जाते हैं. द साइज ऑफ पॉपुलेशन टेल अस अ लॉट अबाउट इट्स स्टेटस इन द हैबिtat. Whatever ecological processes we wish to investigate in a population, be it the outcome of competition with another species, the impact of a predator or the effect of pesticide application, we always evaluate them in terms of any change in the population size. The size in nature could be as low as less than 10 Siberian cranes in Bharatpur wetland in any year, or go into millions. Chlamydomonas in a pond, population size technically called population density, designated as N, need not necessarily be measured in number only, although total number is generally the most appropriate measure of population density. It is in some cases either meaningless or difficult to determine in an area if there are 200 carat grass Parthenium hysterophorus plant but only a single huge banyan tree with a large canopy, stating that the population density of banyan is low relative to that of carrot grass amount to underestimating the enormous role of the banyan in that community. In such case, percent cover or biomass is a more meaningful measure of the population size. Total number is again not an easy adopted measure. If the population is huge and counting is impossible or very time consuming, if you have a dense laboratory culture bacteria in a petri dish, what is the best measure to report its density? Sometimes for certain ecological investigation, there is no need to know the absolute population densities. Relative densities serve the purpose equally well. For instance, the number of fish caught per trap is good enough measure for its total population density in the lake. We are mostly obliged to estimate population sizes indirectly without actual counting them or seeing them. The tiger census in our national parks and tiger reserve is often based on pug marks and fecal pellets. यानी पूरे पैराग्राफ में यही है कि जाके हम गिन नहीं रहे हैं उन चीज़ों को, एक एस्टिमेशन ले लिया है, डेंसिटी ले ली है, बेसिकली नंबर काउंट नहीं किया है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमने समझ लिया कि भाई कैसे कैसे कितना साइज है, और साइज को डेंसिटी कंसीडर किया गया है, ना कि काउंटिंग यानी नंबर्स में नहीं कंसीडर किया गया. नेक्स्ट इज पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ. The size of a population for any species is not a static parameter. It keeps changing with time. Obviously बात है. अब ह्यूमन बीइंग में भी देखेंगे तो बच्चे होते रहते हैं लोगों के, ऐसा तो नहीं है कि एक दिन में एक ही बच्चा हुआ है पूरी पूरी दुनिया में, ऐसा तो नहीं होता, ऑब्वियसली बात है, पता नहीं कितने नंबर ऑफ बच्चे एक दिन में पैदा लेते होंगे. इट कीप्स चेंजिंग विद टाइम डिपेंडिंग ऑन वेरियस फैक्टर इंक्लूडिंग फूड availability, predation, pressure, and adverse weather. In fact, if it these changes it is these changes in population density that give us some idea of what is happening to the population, whether it is flourishing or declining. Whatever might be the ultimate reason, the density of a population in a given habitat during a given period fluctuate due to changes in four basic processes, two of which, natality and immigration, contribute to an increase in population density, and two, mortality and immigration, to a decrease. Natality refers to the number of births during a given period in the population that are added to the initial density. Mortality is the number of deaths in the population during a given period. Immigration is the number of individuals of the same species that have come into the habitat from elsewhere during time period under consideration. जैसे बहुत सारे बच्चे यूपीएससी वाले दिल्ली में आ जाते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, तो दैट इज काउंट इन इमिग्रेशन. वो बहुत साल तक यहीं रहते हैं, तो ठीक है. ई माइग्रेशन इज द नंबर ऑफ इंडिविजुअल ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन हु लेफ्ट द हैबिटेट एंड गॉन एल्सवेयर ड्यूरिंग द टाइम पीरियड अंडर कंसिडरेशन. ऑब्वियसली बात है, अब वो दिल्ली में आए तो ई माइग्रेशन हो गया दिल्ली के लिए, और बिहार से आप मान लो एनी अदर स्टेट, यूपी या कुछ भी, ठीक है, वहां से आए हैं तो वहां के लिए ई माइग्रेशन हो गया. वहां के लिए वहां से उन्होंने जगह खाली कर दी, यहाँ पे उन्होंने अपना एनरोलमेंट कर दिया. ठीक है, इसको ऐड करना होता है क्योंकि ये इंक्रीज का है, ये डिक्रीज का है, तो माइनस. इट इज वेरी बेसिक. So if n is the population density at time t, then its density at time t plus 1 is this. फॉर्मूला है, एक दो बार ही क्वेश्चन मैंने देखा है, वो भी पीवाई क्यों नहीं, टेस्ट सीरीज वेस्ट सीरीज बेस्ड. ठीक है. यू कैन सी फ्रॉम द अबव इक्वेशन दैट पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी विल इंक्रीज इफ द नंबर ऑफ बर्थ प्लस द नंबर ऑफ ई माइग्रेंट बी प्लस आई इज मोर देन द नंबर ऑफ डेथ प्लस द नंबर ऑफ ई माइग्रेंट्स डी प्लस ई. Under normal condition, birth and death are the most important factor influencing population density. The other two factors assuming importance only under special condition. For instance, if a new habitat is just being colonized, immigration may contribute more significantly to population growth birth rate. Next is growth models, exponential or logistic. Does the growth of a population with time show any specific and predictable pattern? We have been concerned about unbridled human population growth and problems created in it in our country, and it is therefore natural for us to be curious if different animal population in nature behave the same way or show some restraints on growth. Perhaps we can learn a lesson or two from nature on how to control population growth. कितना ही सीख लो, कर तो कोई सकता नहीं. इंडिया में पॉपुलेशन पे कंट्रोल इज नॉट पॉसिबल एट ऑल. एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ. Resource, food and space availability is obviously essential for the unimpeded growth of a population, ideally when resources and the habitat are unlimited. Each species has the ability to release fully its innate potential to grow in number, as Darwin observed while developing his theory of natural selection. डार्विन ने भी यही कंक्लूड किया था कि भाई जो रिप्रोडक्टिवली फिट है वही फिट है, सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट. Then the population grows in an exponential or geometric fashion. If in a population of size and the birth rate, not total number but per capita birth, are represented as B and death rate again per capita death rate as D, then the increase or decrease in n during a unit time period t, dn by dt will be dn by dt equals to B minus D into n. इस पर क्वेश्चन आ जाता है कभी कभी, तो इसको थोड़ा ध्यान रखें. B माइनस डी को R रेफर कर दिया है, तो डी एन बाई डी टी इक्वल्स टू आर एन. The R in this equation is called the intrinsic rate of natural increase and is very important parameter chosen for assessing impact of any biotic and abiotic factor on population growth. To give you some idea about the magnitude of R values for the Norway red, the R is 0.015 and for the floral wheat is 0.12. In 1981, the R value for human population in India was 0.02. So 05. Find out what the current R value is. For calculating it, you need to know the birth rate and the death rate. The above equation describe exponential or geometric growth pattern of a population and result in J-shaped curve when we plot and in relation to time. If you are familiar with basic calculus, you can derive the integral form of the exponential growth equation as इसको ऐसे भी लिखा जा सकता है एन टी इज पॉपुलेशन आफ्टर टाइम टी एट टाइम जीरो इज एन जीरो इंट्रिंसिक रेट ऑफ नेचुरल इंक्रीज इज दिस द बेस ऑफ नेचुरल लॉगरिथम. ये क्वेश्चन आया था एक बार. ई क्या है? अब जिसको पता था, जिसको नहीं पता था वो नहीं कर पाया. और यहाँ पे दिखाया है एक dn by dt equals to rn dn by dt rn. This is b. b क्या दिखाया? लिमिटिंग ग्रोथ रेट. प्लॉट इज लॉजिस्टिक और a वाला इज एक्सपोनेंशियल. एक्सपोनेंशियल यानी बढ़ता ही चला जा रहा है. लॉजिस्टिक एक टाइम बाद आके कांस्टेंट हो गया है. Any species growing exponentially under unlimited resources condition can reach enormous population density in a short time. Darwin showed how even a slow-growing animal like elephant could reach enormous number in the absence of checks. The following is an anecdote popularly narrated to demonstrate dramatically how fast a huge population could build up when growing exponentially. The king and the minister set for a chess game. अरे यार ये बहुत ही बहुत बार मैं पढ़ चुकी हूँ. तो आई जस्ट रिमेम्बर दिस पैरा कि हाँ भाई एक बार एक राजा था और राजा का मंत्री था. वो एक चेस गेम खेल रहे थे. मंत्री ने उसके साथ बेट लगाई कि राजा जी आप ये गेम, मैं आपसे गेम जीत जाऊंगा तो आप क्या बोलते हैं, एक चेस बोर्ड में एक दाना रखना, फिर दूसरे एक चेस बोर्ड के बॉक्स में एक दाना रखना, फिर उसका स्क्वायर करना. ठीक है. ऐसे स्क्वायर 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 बढ़ता चला गया और फिर जो पूरा था ना उसका पूरे राज्य का राशन खत्म हो गया. बट वो उसके स्क्वायर बोर्ड को चेकर्स को नहीं भर पाया क्योंकि स्क्वायर में वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो रही थी. ठीक है. और राजा भी इस बात से हैरान रह गया. पूरा कंक्लूजन यही है कि स्क्वायर की वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा होती है जो कि एक्सपोनेंशियल इसमें बताया गया है, एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है. बाकी मैं एक बार रीड कर देती हूँ. The king and the minister sat for a chess game. The king, confident of winning the game, was ready to accept any bet proposed by the minister. The minister humbly said if he won, he would only he wanted only some wheat grains, the quantity of which is to be calculated by placing on the chess board one grain in square 1, then 2 in square 2, then 4 in square 3 and 8 in square 4. ऐसे वो एक एक का स्क्वायर करता गया. And so on, doubling each time the previous quantity of wheat on the next square until all the 64 squares were filled. The king accepted the seemingly silly bet and started the game. अब उसे silly लग रही थी, उसे क्या पता उसका पूरा राज्य खत्म हो जाएगा. But unluckily for him, the minister won. The king felt that the fulfilling the minister bet was so easy. He started with a single grain on the first square and proceeded so to fill the other square following minister's suggested procedure. But by the time he covered half the chessboard, the king realized to his dismay that all the wheat produced in his entire kingdom pooled together would still be inadequate to cover all the 64 squares. Now think of a tiny paramecium stating with just one individual and through binary fission doubling in number every day, and imagine what a mind-boggling population size it would reach in 64 days, provided food and space remain unlimited.
अब उसमें ये नहीं है कि पीछे वाले मर रहे, पीछे वाले भी जिंदा है, उनको सारी चीजें प्रोवाइड की गई हैं। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज लॉजिस्टिक ग्रोथ। नो पॉपुलेशन ऑफ एनी स्पीशीज इन नेचर हैज इट्स disposal unlimited resources to permit exponential growth. This lead to competition between individuals for limited resources. Eventually, the fittest individual will survive and reproduce. The government of many countries have also realized this fact and introduced various restraints with a view to limit human population growth. In nature, a given habitat has enough resources to support a maximum possible number beyond which no further growth is possible. Let us call this limit as nature's carrying capacity K for that species in that habitat. 2024 में क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है K क्या है, and K is carrying capacity. Very easy question. A population growing in a habitat with limited resources show initially a lag phase followed by a phase of acceleration and deceleration and finally an asymptote. When the population density reaches the carrying capacity, a plot of n in relation of time t result in a sigmoid curve. This type of population growth is called Verhulst, बड़ा ही अजीब pronunciation, per logistic growth, and is described by the following equation: dn by dt equals to rn k minus n by k. ये दिमाग में होनी चाहिए कि कैसी इक्वेशन है। कभी कभी आ जाता है कि कौन सी इक्वेशन इज करेक्ट फॉर दिस, और वो n माइनस के करके और तुम्हें फुल कंफ्यूज कर देंगे। K is carrying capacity, N is population density at time t, R is intrinsic rate of natural increase. Since resources for growth for most animal population are finite and become limiting, sooner or later the logistic model is considered a more realistic one. अब जब एक टाइम तक ही चलेंगी ना सारी चीजें, अब जब तुम उसको यूज ही करते रहोगे, वेस्ट करते रहोगे, तो भाई वो सब चीजें खत्म हो जाएंगी। इसलिए इन्होंने लॉजिस्टिक वाले को एक रियलिस्टिक वन माना है, लिमिटेड सोर्सेज होते हैं उसमें। इसलिए गैदर फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट सेंसस डेटा द पॉपुलेशन फिगर फॉर इंडिया फॉर द लास्ट 100 years, प्लॉट देम एंड चेक विद ग्रोथ। इतना टाइम तो के पास नहीं है, ऐसे क्वेश्चन भी नहीं आता। लाइफ हिस्ट्री वेरिएशन। Population evolved to maximize their reproductive fitness, also called Darwin fitness, high R value. In the habitat in which they live under a particular set of suction pressures, organism evolved towards the most efficient reproductive strategy. Some organisms breed only once in their lifetime, Pacific salmon, fish, and bamboo, while the other breed many times during their lifetime. Most bird and mammals, some produce a large number of small size offspring, oysters, pelagic fishes, while others produce a small number of large size offspring, birds, mammals, so which is desirable for maximizing fitness. Ecologists suggest that life history trait or organism have evolved in relation to the constraint imposed by the abiotic and biotic component in the habitat in which they live. Evolution of life history trait in different species currently an important area of research being conducted by ecologists. Next is population interaction. Can you think of any natural habitat on Earth that is inhabited just by a single species? There is no such habitat, and such a situation is even inconceivable. For any species, the minimal requirement is one more species on which it can feed. Even a plant species which makes its own food cannot survive alone. It needs soil microbes to break down the organic matter in soil and result the inorganic nutrient for absorption. And then how will the plant manage pollination without any animal agent? It is obvious that the nature animal plant microbes do not and cannot live in isolation but interact in various ways to form a biological community. Even in minimal communities, many interactive linkage exist, although all may not be readily apparent. Interspecific interaction arise from the interaction of population of two different species. They could be beneficial, detrimental, or neutral, neither harm nor benefit to one of the species or both. Assigning a plus sign for a beneficial interaction minus sign for detrimental and 0 for neutral interaction. Let us look at all the possible outcome of interspecific interaction table 11.1. म्यूचुअलिज्म, दोनों स्पीशी को बेनिफिट हो जाए, कंपटीशन में दोनों का नुकसान होगा। प्रेडेशन और पैरासिटिज्म में एक का फायदा एक का नुकसान, कमेंसलिज्म में एक का फायदा दूसरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, अमेंसलिज्म में एक का नुकसान दूसरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। Both the species benefit in mutualism and both lose in competition in their interaction with each other. In both parasitism and predation, only one species benefit, parasite and predator respectively, and the interaction is detrimental to the other species, host and prey respectively. The interaction where one species is benefited and other is neither benefit nor harm is commensalism. In commensalism, on the other hand, a species is harmed. One species is harmed whereas the other is unaffected. Predation, parasitism and commensalism share a common characteristic. The interacting species live closely together. Predation. What would happen to all the energy fixed by autotrophic organism if the community has no animal to eat the plants? You can think of predation as nature's way of transferring to higher trophic levels the energy fixed by plant. When we think of predation and prey, most probably it is the tiger and the deer that readily come to our mind, but a sparrow eating any seed is no less than a predation. स्पैरो अगर सीड खा रही है तो वो भी प्रेडेशन के अंडर कंसीडर किया गया है। ठीक है, खो गई मैं। When we think predation, हाँ, although animals eating plants are categorized separately as herbivores, they are in a broad ecological context not very different from predators. Besides acting as conduits for energy transfer across trophic level, predators play other important role. They keep prey population under control, but for predators, prey species could achieve very high population density and cause ecosystem instability. When certain exotic species are introduced into a geographical area, they become invasive and start spreading fast because the invaded land does not have its natural predators. The prickly pear cactus introduced into Australia in the early 1920s caused havoc by spreading rapidly into millions of hectares of rangeland. Finally, the invasive cactus was brought under control only after a cactus feeding predator, a moth, from its natural habitat was introduced into the country. Biological control method adopted in agriculture, pest control are based on the ability of the predator to regulate prey population. Predator also helped in maintaining species diversity in a community by introducing the intensity of competition among competing prey species in the rocky intertidal communities of the American Pacific coast. The starfish passer is an important predator. In a field experiment, when all the starfish were removed from an enclosed intertidal area, more than 10 species of invertebrates become extinct within a year because of interspecific competition. If predator is too efficient and overexploits its prey, then the prey become extinct and following it. The predator will also become extinct for lack of food. This is the reason why predator in nature are prudent. Prey species have evolved various defenses to lessen the impact of predation. Some species of insect and frog are cryptically colored, camouflage to avoid being detected easily by the predators. सब अपना डिफेंस करना चाहते हैं. Some are poisonous and therefore avoided by the predators. The monarch butterfly is highly distasteful to its predator bird because of a special chemical produced in the body. Interestingly, the butterfly acquires this chemical during its caterpillar stage by feeding on a poisonous weed. For plants, herbivores are the predators. Nearly 25% of all insects are known to be phytophagous, feeding on plant sap and other parts of plant. The problem is particularly severe for plants because unlike animals, they cannot run away from their predator. Plants therefore have assume करो अगर एक प्लांट भाग रहा हो वो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, वो कैसे भागे. Plants therefore have evolved an astonishing variety of morphological and chemical defenses against herbivores. Thorns, acacia, cactus are the most common morphological means of defense. उनके पास अदर वेज हैं बचने के, अगर वो भाग नहीं सकते तो. Many plant produce and store chemical that make the herbivore sick when they are eaten, inhibit feeding or digestion, disrupt its reproduction, or even kill it. You may have seen the wheat calotropis growing in abundant fields. The plant produces highly poisonous cardiac glycosides, and that is why you never see any cattle or goats browsing on this plant. A wide variety of chemical substances that we extract from plants on a commercial scale, nicotine, caffeine, quinine, starchin, opium, etc., are produced by them actually as defense against grazers and browsers. Competition. When Darwin spoke of the struggle for existence and survival of the fittest in nature, he was convinced that interspecific competition is a potent force in organic evolution. It is generally believed that competition occurs when closely related species compete for the same resources that are limited, but this is not entirely true. Firstly, totally unrelated species could also compete for the same resource. For instance, in some shallow South American lakes, visiting flamingos and resident fishes compete for their common food for zooplankton in the lake. Secondly, resources need not be limiting for competition to occur. In interference competition, the feeding efficiency of one species might be reduced due to the interfering and inhibitory presence of the other species. Even if resources, food and space are abundant, therefore competition is best defined as a process in which the fitness of one species measured in terms of its R, the intrinsic rate of increase is significantly lower in the presence of another species. It is relatively easy to demonstrate in laboratory experiment, as Gauss and other experimental ecologists did. When resources are limited, the competitively superior species will eventually eliminate the other species. But evidence for such competitive exclusion occurring in nature is not always conclusive. Strong and persuasive circumstantial evidence does exist. However, in some cases, the abandoned tortoise in Galapagos Island become extinct within a decade after goats were introduced on the island, apparently due to the greater browsing efficiency of the goats. Another evidence for the occurrence of competition in nature comes from that is called competitive release, a species whose distribution is restricted to a small geographical area because of the presence of a competitively superior species is found to expand its distributional range dramatically when the competing species is extremely removed. Connell's elegant field experiment showed that on the Rocket Sea coast of Scotland, the larger and competitively superior barnacle balanus dominate the intertidal area and exclude the smaller barnacle cathamelus from that zone. In general, herbivore and plant appear to be more adversely affected by competition than carnivore. Gauss' competitive exclusion principle states that two closely related species competing for the same resources cannot coexist indefinitely, and the competitively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. This may be true if resources are limiting, but not otherwise. और ये होता है, ये रियलिटी में रिसोर्सेज तो लिमिटेड होते ही हैं, तो जो ज़्यादा मतलब डोमिनेटिंग होगी ऑब्वियसली बात है वो बढ़ती चली जाएगी और दूसरे वाली इवेंचुअली खत्म हो जाएगी. This may be true if resources are limited but not otherwise. More recent studies do not support such gross generalization about competition. While they do not rule out the occurrence of interspecific competition in nature, they point out species facing competition might evolve mechanisms that promote coexistence rather than exclusion. One such mechanism is resource partitioning. If two species compete for the same resource, they could avoid competition by choosing, for instance, different time for feeding or different foraging pattern. MacArthur showed that five closely related species of warblers living on the same tree were able to avoid competition and coexist due to behavior difference in their foraging activities. यानी आपस में एक कंसल्ट और ट्रीटी कर लें कि भाई हम लोग इस टाइम खाएंगे, तुम लोग उस टाइम खाना, तब तो वो लोग रह सकते हैं, उसमें कंपटीशन फेस नहीं करना पड़ेगा और उसमें ना ही कोई स्पीशी एक्सटेंट होगी. Parasitism. Considering that the parasitic mode of life ensure from lodging and meals, it is not surprising that parasitism has evolved in so many taxonomic groups from plants to higher vertebrates. Many parasites have evolved to be host specific. They can host specific. They can parasite only a single species of host in such a way that both host and the parasite tend to co-evolve. That is, if the host evolves special mechanism for rejecting or resisting the parasite has to evolve mechanism to counteract and neutralize them. In order to be successful with the same host species in accordance with their lifestyles, parasite evolve special adaptations such as the loss of unnecessary sense organ, presence of adhesive organ or suckers to link on the host, loss of digestive system, and high reproductive capacity. The life cycle of parasite are often complex, involving one or two intermediate hosts or vector to facilitate parasitization of its primary host. The human liver fluke are trematode parasite depend on two intermediate hosts, a snail and a fish. To compete over its life cycle, the malaria parasite needs a vector mosquito to spread to other hosts. Majority of the parasite harm the host. They can reduce the survival, growth, and reproduction of the host and reduce the population density. They might render the host more vulnerable to predation by making it physically weak. You do believe that an ideal parasite should be able to thrive within the host without harming it. Then why did natural selection lead to the evolution of such totally harmless parasite? Parasite that feed on the external surface, the host organism, are called ectoparasite. The most familiar example of this group are the lice on human and ticks on dogs, Juve. Many marine fish are infested with ectoparasite copepods cuscuta parasitic plant that is commonly found growing on hedge plant has lost his chlorophyll and leaves in the course of evolution. It derives its nutrition from the host plant. When it's parasitized, the female mosquito is not considered a parasite, although it needs our blood for reproduction. Can you explain why? In contrast, endoparasites are those that live inside the host body at different sites: liver, kidney, lungs, red blood cell, etc. The life cycle of endoparasites are more complex because of their extreme specialization. Their morphological and anatomical features are greatly simplified while emphasizing their reproductive potential. Brood parasitism in birds is a fascinating example of parasitism in which the bird lays its egg in the nest of its host and lets the host incubate them. During the course of evolution, the eggs of the parasite bird have evolved to resemble the host egg in size and color to reduce the chances of the host bird detecting the foreign eggs and rejecting them from the nest. Try to follow the movement of the cuckoo, quail, and the crow in your neighborhood park during the breeding season, spring to summer, and watch brood parasitism in action. Commensalism. This is the interaction in which one species benefits and the other is neither harmed nor benefited. An orchid growing as an epiphyte on a mango branch and barnacles growing on the back of a whale benefit with, while neither the mango tree nor the whale derives any apparent benefit. The cattle Edgerat and grazing cattle in close association, a sight you are most likely to catch if you live in farmed rural areas, is the example of commensalism. The Edgerats always forage close to where the cattle are grazing because their cattle, as they move, stir up and flush out insects from the vegetation that otherwise might be difficult for the Edgerats to find and catch. Another example of commensalism is the interaction between sea anemone that has stinging tentacles and the cloven fish that lives among them. The fish gets protection from predators which stay away from the stinging tentacles. The anemone does not appear to derive any benefit by hosting the clownfish. Mutual अभी पढ़ेंगे आगे आएगा. Mutualism, the interaction confers benefit to both the interacting species. Lichen represent an inanimate and intimate mutualistic relationship between a fungus and photosynthesizing algae or cyanobacteria. Similarly, the mycorrhiza are association between fungi and the roots of higher plants. The fungi help the plant in the absorption of essential nutrients from the soil, while the plant in turn provides the fungi with energy yielding carbohydrates. The most spectacular and evolutionarily fascinating example of mutualism are found in plant-animal relationship. Plants need the help of animal for pollinating their flowers and dispersing their seeds. Animals obviously have to be paid fees for the service that plant expect from them. Plant offer rewards or fees in the form of pollen and nectar for pollination, juicy and nutritious fruit for seed dispersal. But the mutually beneficial system should also be safeguarded against cheaters. For example, animals that try to steal nectar without aiding in pollination. Now you can see why plant-animal interaction often involve co-evolution of the mutualist. That is, the evolution of the flower and its pollinator species are tightly linked with one another. In many species of fig trees, there is a tight one-to-one relationship with the pollinator species of wasp. 11.4 figure अभी देखते हैं. It means that a given fig species can be pollinated only by its partner wasp species and no other species. The female wasp uses the fruit not only as an oviposition egg laying site but uses the developing seed within the fruit for nourishing its larva. The wasp pollinates the fig inflorescence while searching for suitable egg-laying site. In return of the favor of pollination, the fig offers the wasp some of the वास्प से मुझे ना मार्वल्स की मूवी एंट एंड द वास्प बड़ी सही मूवी है. Some of its developing seed as food for the developing wasp larva. Orchids show a bewildering diversity of floral patterns, many of which have evolved to attract the right pollinator, insect and bumblebees, and ensure guaranteed pollination by it. ये दिखा है बम्बल बीज वाला. Not all orchid offer. The Mediterranean orchid offerings employ sexual deceit to get pollination done by a species of bee. One petal of its flower bears an uncanny resemblance of the female of the bee in size, color, and markings. The male bee is attracted to what it perceives as a female, pseudocopulates with the flower, and during that process is dusted with the pollen from the flower. When this same bee pseudocopulate with another flower, it transfer pollen to it and thus pollinate the flower. Here you can see how coevolution operate. If the female bee color pattern change even slightly for any reason during evolution, pollination success will be reduced unless the orchid flower co-evolves to maintain the resemblance of its petal to the female bee. बेचारे के इमोशन के साथ खिलवाड़ कर दिया, दिखा दिया कि मेल है और निकलता नहीं है. फिग फ्लावर इज पॉलिनेटेड बाय प्लांट्स. ऐसा फिग फ्लावर बाहर से दिख रहा है. वास्प एग लेइंग इन द फिग फ्रूट. अब वास्प ने अपने एग ले कर दिए हैं फिग फ्रूट में. यानी हम अगर फिग फ्रूट खाएंगे फिग इज अंजीर आई थिंक, शायद, पक्का नहीं पता मुझे। तो उसमें हमें वास्प के अंडे मिलेंगे, दैट इज ऑटोमेटिकली नॉन वेजिटेरियन। जो लोग वेजिटेरियन है वह अंजीर खाते होंगे, आई थिंक वास्प फिग इज अंजीर, बाकी भाई पता नहीं। समरी पे आते हैं। एज अ ब्रांच ऑफ बायोलॉजी, इकोलॉजी इज अ स्टडी ऑफ द रिलेशनशिप ऑफ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म विद द एबायोटिक फिजिको केमिकल फैक्टर्स एंड बायोटिक कंपोनेंट अदर स्पीशीज ऑफ देयर environment. It is concerned with four-level biological organization, organism, population, communities, and biomes. Evolutionary changes through natural selection take place at population level, and hence population ecology is an important area of ecology. A population is a group of individuals of a given species sharing or competing for similar resources in a defined geographical area. Population have attributes that individual organisms do not: birth rate and death rate, sex ratio, and age distribution. The proportion of different age group of male and female in a population is often presented graphically as age pyramid. Its shape indicates whether a population is stationary, growing, or declining. Ecological effect of any factors on a population are generally reflected in its size, population density, which may be expressed in different ways: number, biomass, percent, cover, etc., depending on the species. Population growth through birth and immigration, and decline through death and immigration. When resources are unlimited, the growth is unusually exponential, but when resources become progressively limited, the growth pattern turns logistic. In either case, growth is ultimately limited by carrying capacity of the environment. The intrinsic rate of natural increase, R, is a measure of the inherent potential of a population to grow. In nature, of different species in a habitat do not live in isolation but interact in many ways depending on the outcome. These interaction between two species are classified as competition. Both species suffer predation and parasitism. One benefit and the other suffer commensalism. One benefit and the other is unaffected. Amensalism, one is harm, other unaffected, and process through which entrophic energy transfer is facilitated, and some predators help in controlling their prey population. Plants have evolved diverse morphological and chemical defenses against herbivory. In competition, it is presumed that the superior competitor eliminates the inferior one, the competitive exclusion principle, but many closely related species have evolved various mechanisms which facilitate their coexistence. Some of the most fascinating cases of mutualism in nature are seen in plant pollinator interactions. चैप्टर हमारा हो चुका है डन। अब आप लोग भी पढ़ते रहिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए अगर सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो, वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, और बाकी चैप्टर्स की भी वीडियो जो डली हुई हैं वो देख लीजिए, जो नहीं डली हुई वो आगे डल जाएंगी। थैंक यू, बाय बाय, स्टडी हार्ड।